Want to know more than the average horse player at the Travers? I give you the facts, you make the picks. Hi, it's Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra. And we are talking Midsummer's Derby, the Travers, a mile and a quarter on the dirt at Saratoga Race Course. And this edition of the Travers, super special. We have a filly in the race. Her name is Thorpedo Anna. And if she wins, it's the first filly to win this prestigious race in more than 100 years. So let's start with the number 1 horse, Thorpedo Anna. Thorpedo Anna is trained by Kenny McPeek and will be ridden by Brian Hernandez Jr. Kenny McPeek, he's done this before. He brought Swiss Skydiver to the 2020 Preakness and she won against the boys. And why shouldn't Thorpedo Anna go against the boys? She's beat all the best 3-year-old fillies out there. She's had 7 starts with 6 wins. She begins her career at Keeneland, goes to her maiden race, wins by 8, goes to an allowance race at Churchill Downs, wins by 9. She then goes to the Goldenrod. That's the only race she lost, but she had a very poor start. Her 3-year-old season, though, oh my, spectacular. She's had 3 G1 races, all at a mile and an eighth, and 1 G2. She is winning by 4 to 5 lengths in every race. In the Kentucky Oaks and the Slop, 1 by 4. She goes to the Acorn here at Saratoga, through a shoe, and still wins by 5. Then in the Coaching Club of America Oaks, hit the gate, still wins by 4 to 5 lengths. Incredible. She's also improving her speed and has had super fast workouts. Kenny McPeek, he calls her a grizzly bear. I can't wait to see her on the track on Saturday. I think it's going to be a real exciting race. And if you're a Thorpedo Anna supporter like me, make sure you wear your pink in support of her. Now let's look at Sierra Leone, the number 2 horse, who is trained by Chad Brown, the leading trainer at the meet, and will be ridden by Flavian Pratt, who's having an excellent meet himself, 3rd in the standings. Sierra Leone has had 7 starts with 3 wins, 3 places, and 1 show. Unfortunately, he has not made it back to the winner's circle since his Derby prep races. In the Derby, he drifted into Forever Young, did a little bumping, came off his progression, and lost by a nose. He then comes to the Belmont here at Saratoga, also did a little drifting, a little bumping, and came in 3rd behind Dornoch, who's also in this race. The Belmont, that's a key prep race for the Travers. He then comes to the Jim Dandy, another key prep race for the Travers. No bumping, no drifting, had an impressive stretch run, but unfortunately, no match for Fierceness. Now, with the pace that's going to happen in this race and the extra distance that he's getting, the question's going to be, will he get the edge and end up in the winner's circle? Now I want to talk about the other Chad Brown horse, the number 3 horse, Unmatched Wisdom, who will be ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr., the meet's leading rider. This is the most inexperienced horse in the race. He only began his career in May. He has 3 starts, but he is undefeated. He began at the Belmont at Aqueduct in a mile race on a muddy track, and he wins by 6. He then goes into a $100,000 allowance race, wins by 5. Chad brings him here to Saratoga for the Curlin Stakes. He wins by 1, but he really showed his speed that day. Now, he doesn't have the same type of speed as like a Dornoch or a Fierceness, but with only 3 races under his belt, he has a ton of upside. Chad believes he could get the distance as long as he has a target. And honestly, leave the other Chad Brown horse out at your own risk. The number 4 horse, Corporate Power, he's got a winning team. His trainer, Shug McGahee, he's won 4 Travers. And his jockey, Javier Castellano, he's won 7. This is a $1 million purchase out of Curlin. He didn't begin his career until he was 3, and it took him 2 tries to break his maiden. The last time we saw him was here in the Curlin Stakes when he went against the 3 Unmatched Wisdom. He was no threat to Unmatched Wisdom and may be overly matched in the Travers. The number 5 horse, Batten Down, is trained by Belmont and will be ridden by Junior Alvarado. This horse is out of Tappet, and Tappet's progeny loves the longer distances. He started his career as a 3-year-old, and it took him 4 tries to break his maiden, but when he did, he won by 8. The question is, who did he really beat? He then goes on to the Ohio Derby, where again he wins, but who did he really beat? He comes to the Jim Dandy here at Saratoga where he runs into Fierceness and Sierra Leone. He was very well placed, but he stayed on his left lead and he weakened. He came in third behind Fierceness by 6 lengths. He's going to have to get a lot better to compete with the caliber of horses in this race. Moving on to the number 6 horse, Anna Marie. Anna Marie is trained by Whit Beckman and will be ridden by Tyler Gaffleone. Anna Marie has 7 starts, 2 wins, and 2 places. In fact, both of his wins came in his 2-year-old career. As a 3-year-old, he was in Louisiana, where in the Risen Star, in the slop, he came in 5th. He then goes on to the Louisiana Derby, comes in 2nd behind Catching Freedom. He was the buzz horse in the Derby, but unfortunately, he got jostled around and veered, and he comes in 8th, 13 lengths behind Mystic Dan. He then shows up here at Saratoga at the Belmont, key prep race for this race, and gets pinched at the start. He comes in 4th behind Dornoch. Now, he's going to get some pace to run into. He is a closer, but on paper, Sierra Leone has the better late kick. We also know that they are adding blinkers to him, so we have to ask ourselves, will blinkers do the trick and bring him back to the winner's circle? Now, we still have some more horses to cover, but if you're liking my content, like, subscribe, comment. Now let's look at the number 7 horse, Dornoch, trained by Danny Gargan and ridden by Luis Saez. Together, they have a 24% win rate. This is the most experienced horse in the field. He has 9 starts with 5 wins, 2 places. In fact, he's had 4 starts as a 2-year-old, winning the Remsen by a nose. His 3-year-old season, a little bit of highs, a little bit of lows. Starts off at Gulfstream in the Fountain of Youth, wins even though he was on his left lead for some time. Goes to the Bluegrass, super hot pace, sets up really well for Sierra Leone. He comes in 4th. Then there's the Kentucky Derby. He draws the rail. He gets shuffled back, he checks, comes in 10th, 18 lengths behind Mystic Dan. But that's okay. He's put it all together since then. He comes to Saratoga for the Belmont. This track, this distance. Goes head-to-head with Seize the Gray, wins. Goes on to the Haskell, draws the rail again, says that's okay, goes right to the lead. Even gets passed by Mindframe and says, oh, no, 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 comes back and wins. He's got one of the best speeds, he's got really good form, and super fast workouts. And if he wins, it's going to be historic. There hasn't been a horse in 20 years that has won the Haskell and the Travers. In fact, there's only been one horse, Point Given, who's won the Haskell, the Travers, and the Belmont. So if he wins, historic moment at Saratoga. Finally, there's the 8 horse, Fierceness, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by Johnny Velasquez. Todd Pletcher, he's had 2 Travers wins, but not since 2011. Fierceness is the most inconsistent racehorse that I have followed. He has 7 starts, 4 wins, and 1 show. When he wins big. When he loses, he really loses. He started at Saratoga and he won by 11 lengths. He then goes on to the Champagne, comes in 7th. Goes to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, wins by 6. Starts his 3-year-old season at Gulfstream in the Holy Bull, comes in 3rd. Then, in the Florida Derby, he knocked all of our socks off. Johnny V didn't even move his hands. He won by 13 lengths, is the favorite for the Derby, comes in 15th. Then comes back here to Saratoga for the Jim Dandy, where he wins over Sierra Leone. But Sierra Leone was closing that gap and closing it quickly. Will he get the edge with the extra distance? Now let's do a quick summary of who has run this distance because that will be key. It is Sierra Leone, Batten Down, Anna Marie, Dornoch, and Fierceness. Who's had the best speed at this distance? Dornoch. Who has the best late kick? Sierra Leone. It's going to be a fantastic race card on Saturday and an amazing race, maybe even historic with Thorpedo Anna and Dornoch in the mix. I hope you all have a wonderful time at the race, but most of all, sashay away with your money. If you like my channel, like, subscribe, comment. Find me at www.trifectaandextra.com. Cheers.